Thanks for joining us for another edition of Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we focus on the work of the National Health Fund, one of the truly outstanding public sector organizations in Jamaica. Its CEO, Mr. Everton Anderson, is with us, and we want to talk primarily about the public-private pharmacy partner program, a program which allows persons who normally would have accessed drugs from hospitals and public institutions to do so through the private pharmacies. This has been making a significant impact in terms of waiting times and just the availability of drugs. We thank you so much for your company. Good to have you on the program, Mr. Anderson. First, I think we should give the background to this public-private pharmacy partner program. What were the problems before this program was initiated?
All right, thank you, Ian, and thanks for having us again. Well, just to indicate that pharmacy has experienced in the public system challenges for a number of years. Challenges as it relates to long waiting times, largely due to the inability of the sector to attract pharmacists, long waiting times, issues of access and waits. So those were some of the issues plaguing the public
and
health
people were
system.
waiting up to 6 hours to get
Yes, you would have
prescriptions
waits
filled?
of 6 hours or more, and people would have to return sometimes
Another day, true.
On another day to collect medication. So this we saw as barriers to access, and this is something we're working to resolve over the next year or so.
Yeah. So you have started with a pilot program covering, is it Clarendon, Kingston, and Montego?
Yes, well, the pilot started in Maypen in December, actually, the 19th of December, with 5 pharmacies. We then started in January in the Crossroads area with about 7 pharmacies. Okay. The Montego Bay pilot came as a result of the crisis happening at Caenwood Regional. So we needed some additional pharmacy support. So given that this program had started, we then decided to invite a few pharmacies to partner with the NHF, and we have 5 pharmacies in Montego Bay now participating in this pilot program.
So it's a total of 17 pharmacies in the 3 parishes? Yes,
17 pharmacies, 3 parishes.
What results have turned up so far? What have been the results of this program?
Well, just to first say that the aim of this pilot was to test whether or not there could be a partnership between public and private for access to these medications that are on the government's VEN list. And to date, we have seen over 12,000 persons accessing medication at these pharmacies. The waits have averaged about 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
And we have had people getting their drugs. The fill rate is over 85%. So I think we have reaped some success so far. I would want to say that there are issues that need to be worked out going forward to make the program viable and meaningful, and those we are committed to as we plan a broader rollout over the next 12 months.
And over the next 12 months, you envisage, like you have an idea of the number of pharmacies you would perhaps reach?
Well,
over that?
The plan, Ian, is to look at where our greatest demand is. So far, Kingston and St. Andrew, St. James, St. Catherine would be the largest areas that require service. So we're actually working out a program to determine how many pharmacies would be needed in each location for us to achieve the access and to remove the barriers to service that currently exist.
So there's a nominal $200 which is paid when one goes into the private pharmacy with the prescription to be filled. But you're finding that people don't really mind paying the $200 because of the ease of access and the availability.
Well, the drug itself is free, so the $200 is a service fee to the private pharmacy, which we believe is more than reasonable, and to date, patients have not had any material issues as it relates to contributing to the receipt of their medication and access to this kind of service.
Let's talk about how the NHF, Mr. Anderson, has helped generally with the management of the supply of drugs in the health system?
Well, the National Health Fund started as a pharmaceutical program, providing health benefits through the NHF card, later took on the JIS card, and now the public sector program for pharmaceuticals. So in a sense, on the NHF side, we would have access over 200,000 annually, on the JIS over 100,000. The public pharmacy program is nearly 500,000 Jamaicans who receive drugs through this program annually.
Half a million?
Over 500,000. So in a sense, at this stage, NHF is responsible for the end-to-end management of pharmaceuticals, meaning from procurement right through to the patient getting their drug. So this is something that we have had to place significant work in achieving certain outcomes, and certainly we have used technology to build our platform. Our pharmacy and inventory management system has certainly helped in terms of managing stock. We're now putting in a warehouse management system to better manage our warehouse. And critical is our systems and processes. Just a few weeks ago, our pharmaceutical warehouse was certified to ISO 9001 2015 standards. So these are some of the moves that we are making in recognition of the fact that we have to be a model public body given the type of work that we do in contributing to the health of the nation.
Good. And that is not just rhetoric, because the National Health Fund has won the coveted public sector customer service award, and certainly the experience of many persons who deal with the NHF, who have to have access to drugs under the public health system. Their experience testifies to the work of the National Health Fund. Its CEO, Everton Anderson, is our guest on Issues and Answers. We take a break, but we'll be right back.
Excess salt in your diet increases blood pressure and contributes to kidney damage, gastric cancer, obesity, osteoporosis, and the worsening of asthma. Aim to have no more than 3 to 6 grams of salt, or half of 1 teaspoon per day. And children under 11 years of age should consume less than this. Get healthy. Reduce the salt. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service and the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back. We're talking health, more specifically the work of the National Health Fund. Its executive CEO, Everton Anderson, is our guest today. I want to move now to the drug serve pharmacies and the improvements which have been made in this area.
Right. Well, just to indicate again that the Cabinet has approved NHF to manage all public sector pharmacies. So while we're committed to solid partnerships with our private pharmacies, over 430, we too have to be efficient in how we manage our patients. So we have introduced a number of service improvements in order to remove what I describe as barriers to access, minimize waits. So things like WhatsApping your prescription ahead of time.
So that can be done?
That can be done. Things
You
like
can call to the office and find out the number and WhatsApp the prescription. That can be done.
You can.
Okay, so one doesn't have to go to a drug serve and stay there for the hours.
Right. In fact, if
I
you
could plan my day and
WhatsApp your prescription to 532-5007, then we will contact you and arrange for pickup of your medication.
But that's a major improvement.
Right.
If that can be done, so that will cut down on the number of persons who have to be at any one location at any time.
Well, we try to be customer-centric. So what we're trying to do, Ian, is to open up options for persons to access. So we have, apart from WhatsApp, drop-off, pick-up service, scheduled refill.
It's a drop-off, pick-up.
So you can leave your prescription and pick up at a later time, or we can arrange you for scheduled service where your pattern of utilization is predictable. So somebody who is hypertensive, who is getting monthly medication, we can schedule it in a way as to minimize your waiting time and improve the chances of you being compliant as it relates to your medication.
And you are now responsible for all the pharmacies in the hospitals.
We are.
So the entire public sector system. And so a number of improvements have flowed as a result of NHF's now managing the system.
Right. Well, we have addressed the issue of infrastructure at most of the facilities we would have taken over already. Our new pharmacy system has been put in to allow for cross-country management of stock. So you can stay in Mobile, know what Kingston has, and you can move stock between locations in order to provide a better service and improve the fill ratio on our prescriptions.
And that would have made a major impact, because now that NHF is in control, if there is a shortage in any particular area, then that shortage can be filled because you have an idea of the lay of the land.
Yes, we are actually in a position of knowledge, so we're able to work with all our pharmacies and ensure that all facilities know that the drug belongs to Jamaica. So it makes no sense to hoard in Montego when you have a need in Maypen. So it really has allowed for much better management of our stock.
Yes. And you are a man who is known to travel to the various, your various centers and your points. You don't just stay in the office.
Yes.
So you go around, you talk to customers,
Right.
you find out what their issues are.
Yes, well, part of being customer-centric is to be aware of what's happening with clients, and not only clients who we serve, the external ones, but with staff, because if you're offering good customer service, it also has to start with the staff who we work with every day. So that sort of service culture can be attained by sitting in the office every day, but you have to go out in the field to know exactly what is happening.
So staff at any center don't know when the boss might actually turn up.
Well, they shouldn't have to know, because the level of service should be good,
standardized,
regardless of what is happening.
Yeah. The NHF was set up in 2003. And since then, what has been the levels of expenditure, for example, in the provision of drugs, in infrastructural support, that kind of thing?
Right. Well, for the NHF and JIS card program, we would have spent over 30 billion in providing subsidies for medication. For infrastructure, we'd have spent over 13 billion and done major projects in hospitals, equipping operating rooms, providing ambulances, and a number of projects across the health system to enable clinicians to be better able to provide service to clients.
Yes. The Minister of Health recently announced that the NHF would provide the 3.5 billion in terms of infrastructural support for key hospitals. Could you expand on that?
Right. Well, that would fall under our institutional benefits program, and the plan is to provide upgrades to major hospitals like Arnold Regional, Montego, Maypen, the larger facilities that are referral centers. So those would be the priorities over the next 2 years in terms of upgrading them to get to another level.
Good. And your cancer center will be open soon?
Yes, well, we have been working on the construction of 2 radiation treatment centers. So the first would be complete in Montego Bay in another 3 to 4 weeks, and the one at St. Joseph's by the end of this calendar year. So we are happy to not only finance that project, but to manage it to fruition. And we're comfortable that we will be able to provide a different level of service to Jamaicans requiring cancer care.
Good. Everton Anderson is the CEO of the National Health Fund, which has had a significant impact on Jamaica's health system, and is not only efficient in terms of delivering services, but certainly has distinguished itself in the quality of customer service and the customer experience that people have had with the institution. We thank you for your company. Next week, I'll be back. Until then, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant day.